Hi friends, welcome to another McBean Immigration Law TV video. And in this one, I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to actually talk with you about a client testimony. Yes, I'm going to share a story with you and lessons learned from this story. Stay tuned. Friends, this idea about sharing testimonies to you via video came to me yesterday, and I thought to myself, wait a minute, I've been sharing testimonies to my email list, and every now and then I would put them out on social media. But I figured, you know what, let me talk you through this one so that you can kind of get a sense of what really went down, and more importantly, what were the lessons that were learned from this story, from these stories, I should say. But before I get right into it, I just want to thank you guys again for subscribing to McBean Immigration Law TV. Thank you for showing me so much love on social media. Thank you for sharing these videos. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and do so right now, and then hit that notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notice of these videos each week. The testimony that I'd like to speak with you about in this video is one that I published, actually I think it was last week, and this one is called Approved. 22 years later, U.S. citizenship. What happened in this case? So I had a terrific client who, like many of you, had a green card. He had a green card since 1996, and he felt okay about it. There was no sense of urgency to become a U.S. citizen. He had a great job. He had good income. His family are doing well. He was able to travel in and out of the U.S. as frequently as he enjoyed, and so he wasn't really that worried about needing to become a U.S. citizen. Until, of course, after President Trump became president. And so, like many of you know, things changed overnight, literally overnight in the world of immigration, with a lot of new policies. Some things were gotten rid of, new policies came on board. Deportations became more of a priority to the Trump administration. And then, you know, the list goes on and on. You guys have been following the news and me over the past year, and you see that a lot of things have been going down. A lot of changes. And so he got concerned. He thought to himself, I have been in the U.S. since the 90s. I've had my green card since 1996. But I'm still vulnerable. I'm still vulnerable to possibly being deported. Now, he's saying to himself, you know, he tries to stay out of trouble. I try to stay out of trouble so I'm not in direct threat of removal, but things can happen. Things can happen. And so he came to see me. The reason he came to see me is because he was concerned about his record. Few things were going on with his record. Number one, he had a criminal record. 2 offenses on his record, one of which was sealed, but for immigration purposes, as you know, it doesn't matter whether it was sealed or not. Immigration wants it to be disclosed. They want to know about it, and they want to consider it. So then the other one that he had, however, involved an alcohol-related traffic offense. And that's a serious one. So he was very concerned about that. And so that was the first thing he was concerned about. Secondly, he was concerned about the fact that he's making child support payments and how that would reflect on his moral character. Thirdly, he was concerned about the fact that he travels a lot outside of the U.S. He travels a lot. And so he was concerned about physical presence, whether he spent too much time outside of the country. And so he came to see me to talk about all these issues before he moved forward with naturalization. So of course, I analyzed things, and based on my analysis, I determined that he actually is okay for citizenship purposes. And so I felt quite comfortable working with him, having my office work with him on filing the N-400. And so he went ahead, filed, and certainly it worked out to his favor. And in fact, he will attend his naturalization ceremony this week. So I'm super happy for him. Now, what are some of the lessons that we can learn from this testimony? Number one, if you have a criminal record of any kind, you need to speak with a lawyer about it. Don't try to analyze the offense yourself, because misdemeanors, friends, misdemeanors can actually get you deported. If, for example, if it's a misdemeanor involving a crime against a child or child endangerment, okay, as we like to call it here in New York, that can get you deported, whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony. Secondly, domestic violence related offenses can get you deported as well. So don't try to, think this thing through on your own. Work with a lawyer on that. When there is a criminal record, you want to make sure that you gather your certified court dispositions and have all of that evidence to show how things were resolved in your case. Include the certified court dispositions. Thirdly, if you're making child support payments, you want to show evidence of that. You want to show your pay stubs if those payments are being garnished from your paycheck, or if you have some sort of statement or record or something like that that shows that you've been making your payments, you want to include that evidence as well. And lastly, if you've traveled a lot, and specifically if you've spent 6 months or longer outside of the United States on any one given trip, you really need to carefully consider whether you have evidence to prove that you maintain your residency here in the U.S. in spite of all of those travels and the time outside of the United States. It gets deeper than that. I'm not going to go into all of those details here, but in summary, what you're going to need to prove is that you maintain residence here, you've maintained a job here, your employment is here, your family, your immediate close relatives, they are here, your home, right, is here, so you have a mortgage statement or a lease agreement or something like that to show that your residence is here. So these are lessons that are learned from the testimony that I shared with you. And so from time to time, I will come in front of you with these success stories and talk with you about what lessons came out of them. Friends, subscribe again. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this testimony, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. Friends, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.